Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to this video where I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of the things that I've been working with lately, on camera and off camera, but mostly off camera because that is of course the purpose, so I can tell you a little bit more about makeup that I've been using without having necessarily a dedicated video for it, or also because some of you maybe don't want to watch a 25 or 30-minute video just about one palette. So all of these palettes that I've been using on camera basically will also get a short mini review for those of you who prefer that style of a video. Okay, sweeties, this is what we're going to do today, and I actually have so much more in my pile, so I'm going to have to break this up and just feature a couple of brands today and then make super soon another mini review video because I really had to kind of break it down into two parts, you know? So anyway, that's what we're going to do today. If you've just found me, I'm Leorah. I'm a makeup artist and stylist. I'm living for colorful makeup and colorful styling. I have nothing against neutrals, loving them too, looking amazing in them like everybody, but kind of really vibing with, you know, looks like that. Besides that, of course, check out my social media, which is linked in the description box, and subscribe to my channel because I would absolutely love to have you here, and I think it's just a very, very good and positive place to hang out and just have some good OG YouTube content. If anyone is still up for that, it looks like YouTube is sort of phasing out. I don't know. But sweeties, this girl is not going to move on to TikTok or to something else. I'm not. I'm gonna stay here, and if I'm the last beauty YouTuber on YouTube, then everybody come and join me here. Okay, sweeties, that is of course what it is. Okay, so now let's go in, and I am going to start actually with the palette that I'm wearing today, and that it's shameful for me that I'm only now working with this palette because this is the Meet Me in the Underworld palette from LEORAH Cosmetics. I bought this, I think I bought it on the first restock. I did not buy it on launch because so much launched when this one launched, and I just had to kind of, you know, figure out how I'm going to financially do this whole thing. But I definitely knew that I would want to have this palette. It's a nice dark grungy color scheme, and it kind of really fits also now in the season, you know. While this launched, I want to say, was it spring 2021? I don't recall anymore, but it was not fall, definitely not, but it is kind of a fall themed palette if you look at it, you know. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I'm in between projects and now is the time to do this, you know. So this is the palette. I did two looks with this being the second one. The first one was a little bit more neutral because I was wearing that for my weekend for Shabbat, and it was actually really nice. It looked really pretty. I'm not 100% sure yet what to think because I also have to say, to be completely fair, that I'm also using a new primer for both of those looks. I have used a new primer, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. So it is a little bit hard for me to judge. I'm going to do another look with a primer that I already know and love, and then I'm going to be able to say more about this palette. But color scheme wise, I think it is really cool. And of course, this is my third palette from LEORAH Cosmetics, so I already know that I like the formula and everything. You know, I do have her previous palette. I think it was the Rose Metal. Was it Rose Metal and the Gone Rogue palettes? I own both of them, and this is my third one, and this is definitely a brand that I support and love already for a long time, ever since she launched basically, and that is what it is. So the performance of this, as far as from what I can tell as of right now, is really solid, very good, super blendable, everything good. And of course you have to be in the color scheme, you know. If you like that color scheme, then I'm sure you will definitely enjoy this palette. Okay, so that is that. Let's put this to the side, and before I forget, because I already mentioned that primer, I want to just go into this and talk about that one, and that is the Natasha Denona primer. I got this gifted from one of my besties because it was easier for her to get this than I, you know, because she can get it easier. Anyway, so she gifted this to me, super grateful. Thank you so much, sweetie. And because I have heard so many people gush about this primer, and I definitely wanted to know because I'm kind of in the stage right now that I'm really enjoying to try different primers, and another primer is going to come up in the video also. So I don't know yet 100% what to think about it. The blending is super nice on it, I have to say. But in my look that I did, my first look with the palette from LEORAH Cosmetics, I did have some separation going on in the shimmers after a couple of hours. Now, it could be the primer, it could be the eyeshadows, but I do not believe it is the eyeshadows. So I don't know. We shall have to see. I'm definitely going to speak about this again at some point later. But anyway, I definitely wanted to try. The blending is super, super nice, but I also definitely want to use this primer under more vibrant shades because of course now I've just used them in a neutral look and also under like grungy, darkish colors. But I want to also use this one under like a super bright blue or something like this because I really want to know what the color payoff is on this one, you know? So anyway, we shall have to see. Right now, I would place it sort of mid-range. I'm not like super blown away yet, but sometimes, you know, love takes some time to take off, you know? Who knows? So I'm going to basically put this on hold and just keep trying it and keep using it, and then we shall see, and I'll talk about it again. Okay, so let us also talk about this one. This is the Streamside palette from Copacetic Cosmetics. Let me just wait. Alright, so this is how she looks. This is the most recent palette from Copacetic Cosmetics. Really, really cute color scheme. When I saw this coming up on Instagram, I immediately knew that I want to have this palette. It is a beautiful palette. The performance also of the mattes is really, really nice. Some of the shimmers, I still have not figured out how to use them best in order to get the most impact or the most benefit out of these beautiful shades, because these shades are beautiful. It is just I think you need a certain technique in order to get the best payoff and the best results, and I still need to work that out for myself a little bit. I've tried already a couple of things. It seems that sponge tip applicators work better than brushes, but maybe you have experience with this and you can let me know. Color scheme wise and performance wise in general, it is a very, very beautiful palette, but as I said, a couple of shades I just need to figure out how to use them best. Okay, but that is just my problem, so don't never mind. That. Okay, and when I ordered this, I also ordered a highlighter, which is absolutely stunningly beautiful. This is, let me just read this. This is the Glow From Within highlighter in the shade Halloween Magic. Okay, let me just open this. It looks like this. Okay, so you don't see much more than white probably with a little sheen of purple, and that is it. It has like this little bit of a purple pink sheen to it or shift to it, which is beautiful. This is a beautiful highlighter. I had to fix this. This came completely broken when it arrived here, but you know, the stuff has to go like around half of the world to get to me. So that is not something very unusual. And this highlighter, once it was fixed and once I started using it, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And also I ordered 2 of the lip glosses. I wish they were real lipsticks, like a shiny, I don't know, metallic lipsticks. Now I knew when I bought them that these are lip glosses, you know, but these colors are so beautiful that I kind of wish they would come out with those same colors but as liquid lipsticks, but not matte, shiny or metallic or chrome or something like this, you know, because they do have like a chrome, maybe you can see this, I hope you can see this, that they have like a bit of a chrome finish to them here, at least in the component, but because they're a gloss, they're not super opaque, right? And it kind of gets lost a little bit. But what you can do so nicely with glosses is, of course, that if you're combining it with liners and you're not just lining your lips but also coloring your lips with the liner, and then kind of get a top layer, of course, with the glosses, you get such nice color combinations and like shifts in different directions, and that of course makes it so you know, you get a big variety basically by just having 1 or 2 products, you know. So anyway, they work super well. There's nothing wrong with it. They don't bleed or anything. I had no problems with it. I just wish, because of the colors are being so spectacular, I wish they would be like super opaque and this is actually the color you could have on your lips. That would be so cool. But again, I knew it was glosses when I bought them, so I knew. Okay, so anyway, let us also talk about this one, because finally I have off camera tried this palette from LEORAH Cosmetics and Beauty Bean. I think she changed her name on Instagram. It's not Beauty Bean anymore. Is it Bat Bean? Bean Bat? Something like this. I don't know. There has been a change. I don't remember now what it is though. Okay, so anyway, this is still Beauty Bean and LEORAH Cosmetics. It's freaking bats, and of course this is the palette. Also, this came a little bit broken, but never mind that. It's a beautiful palette, like seriously. And also this now fits very, very much into the season, of course, with Halloween and stuff, but also in general, just as a fall themed palette. And the performance was beautiful. This was my first experience with LEORAH Cosmetics, and I have been looking forward to that because that is a very, very hyped brand, if you ask me, and I definitely wanted to do this. Now, it took, I don't know, 10 months for me to get that palette after the launch, even though I ordered it on launch. And of course, you probably heard that there was a huge hype that was way more than anticipated around this palette, and it was very, very hard for the brand to kind of keep up with the demand. But I have to say that I have never experienced a brand that was so good at keeping everything up to date and like giving weekly updates. Where is your shipping number in reference to what has already been produced and shipped out and everything. Super, super nice, you know, like seriously. I mean, doesn't change the fact that it's kind of sad that you get your palette 10 months after when the hype is over, basically, you know, let's be fair, like, you know, but the way they handled it, considering how much bigger the onslaught was than they thought or expected, they handled it super, super well and very professionally. So that was really, really impressive, I have to say. And the performance is super nice. All right, let me just try to pack this away. And let's move on to something that has recently launched and that I have tried already on camera. And that is the Pickle palette from Sugar Drizzle. So cute, sweeties, this little thing. There is a video up already on my channel, or it's coming. I am not 100% sure in which order these videos are going up. So this is how she looks. So, so cute. And you know, I am really not really into small palettes, but this one was a must-have. And also this one I got by the kindness of one of my besties. Thank you, sweetie, for blessing me with this one. It's so, so cute. And the performance, sweeties, yeah, you gotta watch the video. It is a first impression video because it is of course a very small palette, but the look turned out super, super nice and the performance was really good, I have to say. Yeah, so anyway, in case you're wondering what is this, I have a little speck here. That is because one of my hamsters bit me. So yeah, okay, sweeties, it's not dirt or anything, it's just a bit of a scar. Okay, now let us go on to something that I also got from that same bestie, and she bought me this one. This is the Escape Pod palette from Kaleidos Makeup. This is how she looks. And also this one was so, so good. I love Kaleidos, as you know, probably. Most of the palettes I love. There was only one that I did not love, and that was one of those smaller ones, but the big palettes that I have from Kaleidos, definitely right up my alley. And also that there are some lighter shades here, which is really, really nice, especially for my weekends when I'm doing softer looks. This is super, super nice. The shimmer shades are spectacular, and the vibrancy in the more bold shades is super, super good. I love it. Really, really nice. And also the packaging and everything is always so special with Kaleidos. Like seriously, you know, I never buy stuff just for packaging. I would not, but this is kind of really, really cool. And they convinced me with every single release that they had how well thought through and how well worked out their collections are. It's just really incredible. So I'm so, so glad that I have this because it is a beautiful palette. Seriously. Okay, now next one is this one that I definitely also wanted to feature. This is the Cosmos palette from Gal Meets Makeup. Okay. So one of you actually tagged me at some point, I think when they had a sale. You sent that information to me by DM on Instagram and said, you know what, look into that brand because you don't see it featured everywhere, which is, you know, what I'm doing here. I'm featuring smaller brands also. And maybe you want to try out and feature that brand and see how it works for you, you know? And I tried this and it is actually a very, very sweet palette. Definitely, I also have another one. I think it's called Autumn Leaves or Fall Leaves. I have not tried that one yet, but I assume that it's all the same formula now. So I tried this one first and I really, really like the performance, sweeties. It's a very, very good, solid performance. Also, the shimmer shades were very, very convincing, super nice and opaque, and really like no complaints here, you know? The only complaint I would have is that for my personal makeup taste, there could be more mattes in the palette. But besides that, the performance was super, super nice. nice, you know? So yeah, that's the Cosmos palette. That is a brand based in the US, a small indie brand. And maybe you want to check it out because she has really, I think maybe 6 or 8 palettes in this format. And that might be something for you to check out, you know? So anyway, this is Girl. I don't know how to pronounce this. Gal, maybe Gal meets makeup. Okay, sweeties, this is what it's called. Okay, now let us go on to Sensorium, because that is also a brand that I have featured here on my channel. I do have a review up about the Chapter 1 palette from Sensorium Beauty. That is a brand based in the UK, I think. You know, so I ordered this on launch and this was a super nice experience as well. I'm very much into palettes like this, big palettes, grays, silvers, colorful shades, really nice. If you are into this color scheme, I would definitely recommend this palette. It's a beautiful palette. I super enjoyed working with this, and again, there is a review up on my channel in case you want to check it out and have more information about it, and also see a couple of looks that I have done with that palette. Okay, then let's also talk about Blend Bunny Cosmetics. That one I have featured here on my channel too in a video where I paired it up, I think, with the It's Belle Cosmetics Break the Rules palette. And this is what it looks like. I paired it up with another palette because this is an all matte palette. I really like this one too. And by now they have also launched the Surge palette, which I also ordered immediately, just so you know. So that is also coming, and the Surge palette, the new one, is going to also have shimmers and mattes. Okay, so this one is all matte, and for the very most part, like 99%, I was very satisfied with the performance. The only shade that did not perform so well on me was this one. It did perform, but it felt a little bit thinner than the other shades. I don't know, it could also just be my fault, who knows, you know? But everything really, 99%, according to my experience, was super nice, and that's why I also immediately ordered the other palette, you know? Yeah, so I'm also very interested in seeing what the shimmer formula will be about and stuff, so that is going to come super soon here on my channel. And then the last brand for today that I want to feature is Be Perfect Cosmetics. Sweeties, Be Perfect Cosmetics is also, I have to say, one of the most interesting brands that I have as of right now, okay? Have not tried everything that's out there, of course, but Be Perfect Cosmetics is definitely something where I already know that I'll enjoy it. So let us start with the Dream Big Manifest palette, which looks like this. Sweeties, this was a love on third side. And one of my besties actually said to me when this one launched, how about this palette? Don't you want to get that palette? And I'm like, eh. Because first of all, I saw that it is really, like, I felt that this is a very neutral palette with a few pops of colors, you know? But sometimes I'm not following my own advice, and that is really stupid because you know how beautiful, or what I'm always saying, how beautiful neutrals and colors mixed are, right? So that is basically what this palette is about, and this palette, sweetie, is bomb.com. I love this palette. This is one of those palettes where I just want to linger and do more looks and see what else is in there, you know, because it is not so obvious. Like, for example, when you look at this one, the one that I just showed you from Blend Bunny, the Blends palette, it is an obviously mostly colorful palette. You know, you have certain areas of colors, you do have nice ranges in the colors between light and dark. It is, I don't want to say predictable because that always sounds so negative, and I don't mean it negative at all. It's just a different style of palette, right? It has some order to it. It has a certain setup. It is, your eyes, when you look at it, you see immediately what you have, right? So that is basically what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with this concept or the other concept. It's just different concepts. It's different. Okay. Now here, this is of course a little bit like thrown at you and you have to figure it out, which is a concept that is just also very interesting, you know? For some people it is intimidating and they don't like it. For me, I can go with whatever concept. I love to just work with one palette and then throw myself wholeheartedly into that concept of that one palette. You know, that is what I love to do, and just to figure out, how does this work? What does this palette want from me? You know what I mean? anyone relating to this? Anyway, so this is a palette and the performance was super, super nice. Absolutely beautiful. Loved it so, so much. And there is so much more in this palette than meets the eye on first glance. You know, absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So anyway, that is that. I have not filmed with this. I don't know if I should, because by now it is kind of an old palette, you know, but not for me, but in general on the makeup market. But seriously, so, so good. And look at this packaging though, you know, so amazing. Yeah, so that was Be Perfect Cosmetics, and of course you know that by now I've also gotten the Carnival 4 palette, the Antidote palette from Be Perfect Cosmetics in collaboration with Stacey Murray. And this is of course the fall theme palette that has launched now when it comes to the bigger palettes. And also here, of course, you have seen the review on my channel, and I love this palette. That is also a palette where you think, well, okay, so it is a mostly neutral palette with a few pops of muted greens and well, whatever, big deal. But also this one is way more versatile and way more amazing than you think. And I've also said that in my review that I actually, when they sneak peeked this palette row by row, I was a bit disappointed. I was like, where is this one thing that makes it different? Where is this one or two shades that throw you off, that make you question, you know? And there isn't. This is a very, very well-rounded, smooth palette, but that's a good thing, you know? It depends what you're looking for, but it makes so much sense, this palette. It makes so much sense. Is there a huge surprise in this palette? No. To be completely honest, I don't think so, but nevertheless, it is a beautiful palette with a beautiful performance, and if this is the colors that you're wearing, then that might be something you might want to consider, you know? I also feel like the performance of the shimmer shades compared to the Carnival 3 is even better. You know, I think they maybe tweaked something there on the formula of the shimmer shades. It is so good. Performance was really, really nice. And in connection to this palette, and there is also a cute story how I got this palette, but for that you have to, of course, watch the review, because while I'm doing my makeup in that video, I'm telling that story. Okay, sweeties, I also ordered this primer from Be Perfect Cosmetics, and right now when I'm filming this, I have to say that this is my most favorite primer. This is the first time that I tried this when I started to work with this palette, and ever since then I have used exclusively this primer, except for today's look and my yesterday's look, where I was wearing the Natasha Denona primer, and I think this is an amazing, amazing primer. Now, if you have a light skin tone like I have, you might even want to consider this, just because it is the skin tone of a very, very fair person, and I don't think they have different shades. I don't want to say something wrong. I think though that this is the only one that they do have, okay? But in any case, for me personally as Leorah, this is the perfect shade, first of all, and the performance is so, so nice. The colors pop on it, the blending is super, super good. I don't experience any creasing or fading or anything. This has been, ever since I had it, this is my new holy grail. It definitely knocked Sigma off the throne, even though Sigma is also very good according to me and my personal taste. And with the Natasha Denona one, I have to see. It is sort of in between. You know, right now it's probably ranking on 3rd place right after Sigma, but this one, so, so nice. Absolutely loving it. And I cannot, oh, I forgot that I also have the one from Juvia's Place. I don't even know. I should make a ranking video and tell you why I like my primers and in what order. Would you be interested in that? Because that, I think that sort of would be too much to all put it into this video. But anyway, just wanted to kind of give you an update on what I've been working with here, because some of you might have seen the reviews, but some of you might have not. I don't know how to say this in English. So anyway, and I also quickly want to also mention the brushes, because of course you saw me showing my new brushes. I'm just taking one now here. My new brushes from BH Cosmetics. I love them. I love, 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 love them. They're beautiful. The performance is beautiful. They're super nice and soft. They hold up super well during washing, and I love them. So, so nice. And then I also have, and now I just have to find an example, my brushes from Nabla. I also love those. the performance is super, super nice. No complaints, absolutely no complaints. It kind of really is cool to have good brushes, you know, and it's so, so nice to, especially when it comes to the BH Cosmetics brushes, to have brushes that are affordable, because BH Cosmetics is already not like super, super expensive, but they were also on sale when I bought them, and that is kind of really cool, you know, because I do feel brushes can make a huge difference in your makeup application, as does the primer, you know. And then if you have certain things that work for you, like brushes that work for you, and also primers, your favorite primer that works for you, then I personally feel the performance of the eyeshadow itself can be even less, because you can still rock it. You know what I mean? And that is also a question I'm getting a lot. Like, how can you rock palettes where you say the performance of the palette or the formula wasn't all that good, or was substandard or whatever? How can you rock it? It's because I do have the patience, first of all, to work with it until I'm satisfied. And sometimes it takes a long time of blending and whatever, but it is also the brushes, having the brushes that work for you and the primer that works for you. Okay, just a little word of advice. It's not always the eyeshadow that matters, you know. There's certain other things you can basically prepare, you know, to have a better performance in whatever eyeshadow formula you use. Okay, sweeties, this is it for today. I hope you did enjoy this. I'm going to have, of course, the brands linked down in the description box. Please feel free to check out that space down there, you know, with my discount codes for the different brands, and of course my links to social media and my makeup of today is either in the description box or in a pinned comment, depending on where I have room. Please don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I shall see you here super soon for my next video. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.